hear those roars and you hear those cheers, you know that you've earned them.
It's loud, it's electric.
No matter how many times they punch us, we're always going to get back up.
Make them feel it! Touchdown! Touchdown!
It's time to see black.
Longtime sports journalist Stephen Brunt has never been shy about his love for his hometown Hamilton Tiger Cats, and just in time for the annual Ticats Argo Showdown, the Labor Day Classic, Brunt has created and narrated a docuseries made in the Hammer inside the 2025 Ticats, giving a really unparalleled look into the team. So let's welcome producer, narrator, legendary sports writer Stephen Brunt to our program this morning. Stephen, it's such a pleasure to talk to you. Growing up, living right next to Hamilton and Burlington, this rivalry, I worked in Hamilton for a dozen years. It's something special, and I think sometimes, even if you're in Toronto, you don't understand it as much as if you're a Hamiltonian, right, Stephen?
I think that's true, Nick. I think you I'm biased here, right?
Yeah.
I'm Hamilton, but I do think that, if you're from Hamilton, even if you're a newcomer to Hamilton, a lot of people are these days. It's part of the identity of the city. It really kind of it's in the air, it's in the water. It's part of being a Hamiltonian. And look, in Toronto, there's a lot of other things going on. There's a lot of other sports things going on. And maybe that rivalry isn't, maybe it's a little bit one-sided right now, but boy, if you're from Hamilton and you look down the QEW, it's part of what defines you as who you're not.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Stephen, Hamilton is kind of the biggest little town in the country. And when you go to a Ticat football game, you really feel that energy. But it's a next level difference when it comes to the Labor Day Classic. And you talk to the players, the coaches, the new general manager this year in this docuseries. They all talk about the passion that gets poured into this game this weekend.
Yeah, it's really special. It's look, the seasons come, seasons go. Look, the Ticats haven't won a Grey Cup since 1999. Yeah. So that's a long drought. But, look, I've been going to the Labor Day game since I was 4 years old. And there was a sense that if you beat the Argos on Labor Day, everything was fine. It didn't really matter what the rest of the season. Now, and that's not like we'd love to win a Grey Cup in Hamilton this year. But it was the focal point of the year. And that game has a real special feel to it. It's like a festival. It's the before you go back to school game, the before you go back to work game, the end of summer game. It's really it's on the calendar in a way that's not just about sport.
Yeah, it gets circled in black and yellow every year in Hamilton for sure, Stephen. And it was interesting. You just said you'd been going to the game since you were 4 years old. Several of the season ticket holders you spoke to, it's like generational. I did it as a kid. I'm bringing my kids. I'm there with my grandparents. Everybody goes to it or watches in one form or another.
Yeah, it is. It's closer to kind of a European soccer tradition, I think, in some ways, than it is a North American sports tradition. But the stadium, the new stadium, just like the old stadium, is in a neighborhood. You're surrounded by people's houses. You park your car on somebody's lawn. There's a tailgate scene. You get on the bus, you go there, and you join your city. That ritual of going to the East End. I don't know. There are other great Labor Day games even in Canada. Calgary Edmonton's a great rivalry. Winnipeg Saskatchewan's a great rivalry. But being in the gritty East End of Hamilton for a football game, for a Ticat Argo game, I've been to a lot of sporting events around the world. I've been really lucky. Best job in the world. Mm-hmm. But nothing gets my heart beating like a Ticat Argo game.
Yeah, I hear that. So let's talk about the access you got for this series, Stephen. It's pretty amazing how, you're inside talking to players, the team, executives, etc. What was the impetus for this? Did you pitch the team? How did this all come about?
The team and I have been, the Ticat folks and I have been talking for some time about doing a project. I've done some work for them in the past, and they know I'm a Hamilton guy, and they know I've kind of lived this. And before this season, we sat down, a group of us sat down and said, look, what can we do? And this idea kind of, the idea of kind of an all access chart, let's chart the course of a season from the inside, not just in terms of kind of, this is not an X's and O's football documentary. It's about, the people, the players for sure, and the coaches, the front office, but also the people, the fans, and that fan passion that you were just talking about. So, being able to be in the dressing room, on the sideline, on the plane with the team when they go on the road, but then also kind of getting into the lives of the people who, loyally have supported this team for years and, as you say, through generations. Yeah.
And, Stephen, it's interesting, too. You talked to Orlando Steinauer, who's been with the club for about, 12 or 13 years now. He gets it, but they make sure that the new members of the team get it as well, how significant this weekend is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The guy that really impressed me, Bo Levi Mitchell, quarterback of the Ticats, he's been there, hasn't been there forever, played in Calgary for a long time. But, talking to him, he gets the whole Hamilton thing in a really kind of profound way. He really understands. He understands how demanding the fans are. He understands the passion. And, especially, I think, understands how different it is. Same with Orlando. You don't have to be in Hamilton too long to understand, man, this is a this is a different place. This team matters in a really special way. And yeah, they'll love you when you win, and they'll tell you when you don't play well. And you know, there's a real direct. Those seats in Hamilton are pretty darn close to the field. You know, there's a real direct connection between the fans and the team.
Oh, they hear it all right. They hear it from the fans loud and clear from the sidelines, that's for sure. Now, the Argos, Stephen, definitely struggling this season, but, you know, the Argos get this as well. The players certainly, they're going to be pumped up for this game coming up this weekend. Yeah,
I think they will. Look, it's sold out. It's been sold out for a while. So the stadium's going to be packed. It's going to be incredibly, you know, there's going to be an incredible energy level in there. Look, and I got to say, I love Argo fans, the loyal ones who stick it out through the years. They've been incredibly successful on the field the last while.
Yeah.
Look, if you go to an Argo game at BMO Field, it's not full. And it's, you know, those people are there, but there's, you know, the stands aren't full, and the people who are there care, but it's different. And you can probably walk down the street in Toronto as an Argo and be pretty anonymous. To go into this, you know, kind of cauldron in Hamilton where the place is full and there's going to be so much emotion. I think if I was a visiting player, it might be a little intimidating, but it would also kind of get me up for the game.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It's going to be a huge game, that's for sure. The Labor Day Classic coming up this weekend. Made in the Hammer, you can catch it. Stephen Brunt, really appreciate you joining us this morning. Thanks for the work here. Good chat, too.
Thank you. Great talking to you.